The bright screens in Earth Command Center showed a giant ship near Jupiter. Admiral Kim Tae-ho stood with his hands behind his back, watching the alien vessel that had appeared 3 days ago. It was the year 2087. Humans had just built their first homes on Mars and Europa, and now they were no longer alone in space. "Sir, they're sending another message," said Lieutenant O, her eyes fixed on her console. Admiral Kim nodded. "Put it through." The main screen filled with the image of a tall being made of what looked like blue crystal. This was Zelthus, ambassador of the Alderian Collective. "Admiral Kim of Earth," the crystal being said, its voice surprisingly smooth. "The Galactic Council has made its decision. Your species has been classified as a Category 3 pre-adaptive species. This entitles you to limited technology exchange and restricted trade agreements." Captain Park Ji-won, standing beside Admiral Kim, frowned. During the past 3 days, he had studied every bit of information the aliens had shared. He knew what Category 3 meant. It meant the aliens saw humans as barely smarter than animals. "Ambassador Zelthus," Admiral Kim said calmly, "we thank the Collective for this classification. However, Earth would like to request full membership status." The Aoi crystal being made a sound like tinkling glass. Laughter, perhaps? "Admiral, you misunderstand. Your species has only just learned to leave your planet. The Alderian Collective includes races that have traveled the stars for thousands of years. Your request is amusing." After the call ended, Admiral Kim turned to his officers. "They think we're children," he said, "and they plan to treat us like children." Captain Park raised his hand. "Sir, I've been looking at the data they shared about their ships. There's something interesting about their shield systems." "Show me," said the Admiral. Captain Park displayed his findings on the main screen. "Their shields work on set patterns. They change frequencies, but always in the same order. If we can time our weapons to hit at the exact moment when the shields switch patterns..." Admiral Kim studied the data. "Good work, Captain. But let's hope we never need to use this information." 1 month later, hope ran out. Admiral Kim was called, urgently, to the command center. On the screen, 3 Alderian ships were moving toward Europa, Earth's moon colony. "They didn't ask permission," said General Lee, commander of Earth's space defense. "They say they're setting up monitoring stations for our own protection." Admiral Kim knew what this meant. The Alderians were putting military bases on Europa. Once there, they could control who came and went from Earth's solar system. "Open a channel," he ordered. The crystal face of Zelthus appeared on screen. "Admiral Kim, this is standard procedure. Category 3 species require guidance and protection." "Ambassador, we must insist you ask permission before approaching our colonies." "Your permission?" The alien seemed amused again. "Admiral, perhaps I did not make our positions clear. The Alderian Collective does not ask permission from developing worlds. We inform them of our decisions. Your species will benefit greatly from our presence." After the call, Admiral Kim looked at Captain Park. "How ready is your shield theory?" "We've programmed the timing into our weapon systems, sir, but we've never tested it." Admiral Kim nodded slowly. "Then today we test it. Prepare 3 ships. We will escort the Alderians away from Europa." The Earth ships looked tiny next to the massive Alderian cruisers. Admiral Kim commanded from the lead ship, the UES Challenger. "Open a channel to all Alderian vessels," he ordered. "This is Admiral Kim Tae-ho of Earth. You are approaching an Earth colony without permission. Turn back now." The response was immediate. "This is Commander Zeltek of the Alderian Guard. Your threats are meaningless. Move aside or be destroyed." Admiral Kim looked at Captain Park, who nodded. "All ships, prepare to execute Operation Firm Hand." The 3 Earth ships moved into triangle formation. The Alderians didn't even raise their shields. They clearly thought Earth's weapons were too weak to matter. "Fire exactly on my mark," Admiral Kim said calmly. 3, 2, 1, mark. All 3 Earth ships fired at once. Their weapons were indeed weak compared to Aldarian technology. But timing was everything. The shots hit at precisely the moment when the Aldarian shields were switching patterns. The results were immediate. The energy systems on the first Aldarian ship flickered and died. The second ship spun sideways, its engines failing. The third managed to maintain power, but its weapons went offline. "Again," ordered Admiral Kim. "Same timing." The second volley disabled the third ship's engines. In less than 5 minutes, 3 advanced alien cruisers were floating helplessly in space. "Open a channel," Admiral Kim said. "This is Admiral Kim of Earth. As you can see, we are not as helpless as you believed. We can disable more of your ships, or we can talk. What will it be?" 2 days later, Admiral Kim sat across from Zeltis in Europa's main conference room. The crystal being had lost some of its shine. "The collective is surprised by your capabilities," Zeltis admitted. "No Category 3 species has ever managed to counter Aldarian technology so quickly." "Perhaps we are not a Category 3 after all," Admiral Kim suggested. "Perhaps not," Zeltis agreed. "The Council is reconsidering your classification. In the meantime, we would like to propose a new agreement. Equal exchange of technologies, open trade routes, and recognition of Earth's sovereign territory." After Zeltis left, Captain Park approached Admiral Kim. "Sir, do you think they'll keep their word?" Admiral Kim looked out the window at the stars. "I think they'll keep their word as long as they're afraid of what we might do if they don't. We've learned an important lesson, Captain. In space, respect comes from strength." "What happens now, sir?" "Now we prepare. The galaxy just got a lot more complicated. We've surprised them once with our adaptability. They'll be watching to see what we do next." Admiral Kim turned to face the young captain. "Start a new research program. I want to know everything about every alien species we encounter, their strengths, their weaknesses, their technologies, because next time we might face someone who doesn't give up so easily." As Admiral Kim walked away, he didn't know that news of the Europa incident was already spreading across the galaxy. Earth, the newcomer planet, had stood up to the mighty Aldarian collective and won. Some alien species laughed it off as luck. Others began watching Earth more carefully. In the vastness of space, a new player had entered the game, and they had announced their arrival not with words, but with action. The humans were coming, and the galaxy would never be the same. 10 years passed since Earth's first meeting with the Aldarians. Humans had learned much in that time. Earth ships now traveled to distant stars. People from Earth had met 12 different alien species. Some were friendly, some were not. Director Lee Sunmi sat in her office at the Earth Xenological Research Division. Her job was to study alien species and learn about them. On her screen was a message she had found in the Galactic Council's data. It was not meant for human eyes. "Earth is an isolation priority," the message said. "Humans show a concerning rate of military adaptation." Director Lee frowned. She had seen this coming. In just 10 years, Earth had built ships that could travel faster than anyone thought possible. Humans had taken alien technology and made it better. This scared the older species. She was about to call Admiral Kim when an alert sounded. A distress call was coming from the Orion Nebula, where Earth had a small research base. Colonel Choi Han knew they were in trouble when the 5 black ships appeared. They moved like nothing he had seen before, quick and deadly. The base's scanners identified them as Dracarian vessels. Everyone knew about the Dracarians. They were pirates who attacked weak targets and took slaves. "Get everyone to the safe room," Colonel Choi ordered, "and bring me the nanite case." The research base only had 20 people and 2 old defense ships. The Dracarians would expect them to surrender or die. But Colonel Choi had something they wouldn't expect. When the Dracarian leader's face appeared on the screen, Colonel Choi stayed calm. The alien had dark blue skin and rows of small horns on its head. "Human base," the Dracarian said. "I am Captain Vorg. Your base is now mine. Surrender and you will live as slaves. Fight and you will die." Colonel Choi smiled. "We have a third option. We're sending you a small gift." He pressed a button and the base launched what looked like a simple probe toward the Dracarian ships. The alien captain laughed. "One probe against 5 warships? Your species is as stupid as they say." "Maybe," said Colonel Choi, "or maybe not." The probe reached the closest Dracarian ship and exploded into a cloud of tiny particles. Experimental nanites, microscopic robots designed by Earth's best scientists. They had been created to repair ships in space, but Colonel Choi had worked with the scientists to give them new instructions. The nanites spread across the Dracarian ship's hull, finding ways inside through air vents and docking ports. Once inside, they did 2 things. They disabled the neural implants that all Dracarians wore, and they took control of the ship's systems. One by one, the Dracarian ships went quiet. Their crews fell unconscious as their neural implants shut down. Their weapons powered off. Their engines stopped. In just 3 hours, all 5 pirate ships were under Colonel Choi's control. Admiral Yun Min Ho could hardly believe the report. Colonel Choi had captured 5 Dracarian warships without firing a single shot. The nanites had worked perfectly, disabling the pirates without killing them. "The Dracarians are being held in their own ships," Colonel Choi explained via video. "Call. The nanites are keeping them asleep until help arrives." Now Admiral Yun was on his way to a meeting he never expected. The Quor hierarchy, the oldest and most powerful civilization in this part of the galaxy, had requested his presence. The Quor rarely spoke directly to younger species like humans. The meeting room was inside a massive Quor space station. Admiral Yun felt small as he entered. The Quor were tall beings, with 4 arms and skin that shifted colors like oil on water. Their leader, High Archon Devixtron, sat on a raised platform. "Admiral Yun of Earth," the Archon said, voice deep and slow. "Your species continues to surprise the galaxy." Admiral Yun bowed slightly. "We're just trying to survive, High Archon." What Colonel Choi did with those nanites was unexpected. The Dracarians have troubled us for centuries. Their neural implants were supposed to be unhackable. "Humans look at problems differently," Admiral Yun said. "We see solutions where others see impossible barriers." The High Archon's skin shifted from blue to a deep purple. "This is why I have called you here. The Dracarians grow bolder. They attack more worlds every cycle. The Quor hierarchy cannot be everywhere at once." "What are you suggesting?" "An alliance. The Quor will provide Earth with advanced technology. In return, human ships will protect the Orion Spur and its developing worlds from the Dracarian threat." Admiral Yun was surprised. "You want us to be your soldiers?" "No," said the Archon. "We want you to be our shields. 27 developing. Worlds need protection. Your people have shown you can adapt and overcome threats in ways we cannot. You see possibilities we miss after millions of years of doing things the same way." Back on Earth, the alliance was debated for days. Some people didn't trust the Quor. Others saw a chance to learn from the oldest civilization in known space. In the end, Earth agreed. The Treaty of Orion was signed, and Earth became the official protector of the Orion Spur. Quor technology began to flow to Earth. Ships were built faster than ever before. Weapons were developed that could disable enemy vessels without destroying them. The nanites were improved to work against many different alien technologies. Admiral Kim, now older but still in charge of Earth's defense, watched the new ships being built. "When I disabled those Alderian ships 10 years ago, I never imagined we would come this far so quickly." Captain Park, now General Park, stood beside him. "The Alderians predicted it would take us centuries to develop the technology we now have. They underestimated human determination." "And human adaptability," added Admiral Kim. "That's what scares them. The Galactic Council has labeled us as a possible threat." They think we're too warlike. They don't understand us, General Park said. We don't want war. We just want to be ready for it when it comes to us. As they spoke, Earth's first true warships were taking shape in orbit. They combined technologies from many different alien species, all improved by human engineers. They were faster, stronger, and more adaptable than anything the galaxy had seen before. The Aldarians had called humans a Category 3 pre-adaptive species. Now they were beginning to understand just how wrong they had been. Humans didn't just adapt. They evolved, they improvised, and they overcame challenges in ways that amazed and terrified the older species. Earth was no longer just a newcomer in the galaxy. It was becoming a power that others watched with growing concern, and this was just the beginning. 20 years had passed since the Orion incident. Earth had grown strong, very strong. The small fleet that once struggled against the Aldarians was now a mighty force of over 200 warships. These ships used technology from many alien species, all made better by human engineers. General Kim Ji-young stood on the bridge of the flagship Prometheus. She was the daughter of Admiral Kim Tae-ho, who had led humans during First Contact. Now she commanded Earth's Interstellar Defense Force. "Status report," she said, looking at the star map. 3 Vex warships have entered the New Sol system, reported Captain SCO. They're not responding to hails. General Kim frowned. New Sol was Earth's largest colony outside the solar system. It was home to 5 million people. The Vex Imperium was a powerful empire that had been watching Earth's rise with growing concern. "Send the 4th Tactical Fleet to intercept," she ordered. "But tell them to hold fire unless fired upon." The 4th Fleet was special. Their ships carried a new technology called quantum displacement. It let them make short jumps through space during battle, like teleporting. The technology was still new and secret. No one outside Earth knew about it. Commander Kang Do-hyun led the 4th Fleet toward New Sol. He had 12 ships against the 3 Vex vessels. But Vex ships were huge, each one as big as 5 Earth ships combined. "Vex fleet is charging weapons," his tactical officer reported. Commander Kang stood up. "Send one more message. Tell them this is Earth territory and they must withdraw." The response came quickly. A Vex officer appeared on screen. He had green scales and yellow eyes. "Human commander," the Vex said, "your species has been deemed a destabilizing influence. The Vex Imperium will establish a presence in this system to ensure proper oversight." "That sounds like what the Aldarians tried 20 years ago," Commander Kang said. "It didn't work then. It won't work now," the Vex officer hissed. "We are not the Aldarians. Surrender your colony or face destruction." The screen went dark. The 3 Vex ships moved toward the colony, weapons ready. "All ships, prepare for Sol." "Scatter," Commander Kang ordered. This was the formation they had practiced for months. It looked random, but was actually carefully planned. The Earth ships spread out in what seemed like chaos. The Vex responded by firing at the closest targets. But as their weapons fired, something strange happened. The Earth ships disappeared and reappeared in different positions. The quantum displacement technology worked perfectly. The Vex weapons hit empty space. "Execute Phase 2, Commander Kang said calmly. His ships reappeared in a perfect circle around the first Vex warship. They all fired at once, aiming at specific points where the Vex shields were weakest. The alien ship's shields failed in seconds. The Vex were completely surprised. They had expected an easy victory over the human colony. Instead, their ships were being taken apart by a human fleet that seemed to appear and disappear at will. The battle lasted only 6 hours. By the end, 2 Vex ships were disabled, and one was destroyed when it tried to fire its main weapon while its power core was damaged. Commander Kang stood over the captured Vex captain. "Why did you really come here? The truth this time." The Vex captain looked up with hatred in his yellow eyes. "You humans advanced too quickly. The Council fears what you will become. This attack was meant to show your weakness and force you to accept protection." "It didn't work out that way," Commander Kang said. "No," the Vex admitted, "but this was just the beginning. Others will come." Back on Earth, Director Song Min of Earth Intelligence brought troubling news to the Security Council. The attack wasn't ordered by the Vex leadership, she explained. It was planned by a shadow coalition of species who fear our military growth. They've been watching us for years. General Kim studied the data. So the Vex were just the start? Who else is part of this coalition? We've identified members from the Alderian Collective, the Nexus Conglomerate, and even some Quor separatists, Director Song said. They believe we're an existential threat to the galactic order. The room was quiet. Earth had allies, but also many who feared human potential. The coalition could muster thousands of ships if they attacked together. "What are our options?" asked the Earth President. General Park, now old but still Earth's top strategist, spoke up. "They expect us to either retreat or prepare for defense. We should do neither." "What do you suggest?" asked General Kim. "Strike first, not with our main fleet, but with small stealth teams. Hit their military bases and show them we can reach them anywhere." It was a bold plan, maybe too bold. But Earth had learned that in space, boldness often worked. Commander Kang led the mission personally. His team had 10 stealth ships, each carrying the best technology Earth had developed. They split up, each targeting a different military base that belonged to the Shadow Coalition. Commander Kang's target was a Nexus weapons facility hidden on a moon near the galactic core. His ship approached silently, using technology that bent light around them. "We're in position," his pilot reported. "Deploy the nanite swarm," Commander Kang ordered. Small canisters left the ship, floating toward the base. Inside were billions of microscopic robots programmed to disable weapons and communication systems. Across the galaxy, 9 other Earth ships did the same at other military bases. Within 1 hour, every target was neutralized without a single death. Commander Kang opened a channel to the now powerless Nexus base. "This is Commander Kang of Earth. Your weapons and shields are disabled. Your communications will be restored in 24 hours. We could have destroyed this base, but we chose not to. Remember that. Similar messages were delivered at each target." By the time the coalition leaders learned what had happened, it was already over. Earth had struck 10 heavily defended targets simultaneously without being detected. The message was clear. Earth could hit anywhere, anytime, without warning. 2 months later, representatives from all major powers met on neutral ground. The Ascension. Accords recognized Earth as a major galactic power with the right to develop its military without interference. General Kim stood before the Earth Council, reporting on the outcome. "We've gained the recognition we needed, but at a cost. Many species now fear us more than ever." "Fear can be useful," said General Park. "It prevents war." "Until it causes one," Director Song countered. General Kim looked out at the stars through the council chamber window. "Our goal was never to be feared. It was to be respected. But in this galaxy, it seems the two go hand in hand." Earth had ascended to a place few thought possible. From planetary civilization to galactic power in just 30 years. No species in known history had risen so far, so fast. And the galaxy watched with a mixture of awe and dread, wondering what humans would do next. 50 years had passed since humans first met aliens. In that time, Earth had done what no other civilization had ever done. They had risen from a single planet to become the strongest military power in known space. Admiral Bae Jun-ho stood on the observation deck of the Terran Command Station. At 75 years old, he was the supreme commander of the Terran Star Force. From here, he could see ships coming and going, not just human ships, but vessels from hundreds of alien worlds. "Admiral, the delegates have arrived," said his aide. Admiral Bae nodded. "Show them in." The doors opened and aliens from 30 different species entered. Some walked on legs, others slithered or floated. They were ambassadors from the major powers, here to discuss the renewal of the Galactic Peace Treaty, also known as Pax Terra Nova, the Earth Peace. "Welcome," Admiral Bay said. "Please be seated." An Aldarian representative spoke first. His crystalline body shimmered in the light. "Admiral, let us be direct. The treaty has held for 15 years. But some worlds feel that Earth has too much power under its terms." Admiral Bay smiled slightly. How things had changed. 50 years ago, the Aldarians had laughed at humans and called them primitive. Now they worried about Earth having too much power. "The treaty has kept the peace," Admiral Bay said simply. "Before it, we had the Ascension Wars. 5,000 ships destroyed, 12 worlds damaged. We all agreed that could not happen again," a Vex diplomat hissed. "Peace maintained by fear is not true peace." "Perhaps," Admiral Bay agreed. "But it is better than war." The meeting continued for hours. Some wanted Earth to reduce its military, others wanted more access to human technology. Admiral Bay listened to all of them but made few promises. Later, he met with Colonel Ryu Ji Ho, head of Earth's diplomatic corps. "What do you think?" he asked the younger officer. "They fear us," Colonel Ryu said. "But they also need us. Peace has been good for everyone." Admiral Bay nodded. "Yes, and as long as they fear our strength, they will not test it." At the Earth Academy of Strategic Sciences, students from 300 different species studied the art of war. Only 12 non-human spots were available each year, and thousands applied. Commander Shin Hye-won walked between the desks, watching the students work. She was in charge of the Academy's final test, a battle simulation that pushed students to their limits. "Time's up," she announced. "Let's see your solutions." One by one, the students presented their answers to the tactical problem. Most were good, some were excellent. But a young Quor student named Zeltek had found a solution that no one expected. "Very creative," Commander Shin told him. "You combined 3 different tactical approaches that most would consider incompatible." The Quor student bowed his head. "I learned from studying human history, Commander. Your species doesn't see barriers between different methods. You take what works from anywhere." Commander Shin smiled. This was why Earth had risen so fast. While other species specialized in particular types of warfare based on their natural abilities, humans took ideas from everyone and combined them in new ways. This approach had become known across the galaxy as adaptive combat integration, the ability to use any effective tactic regardless of where it came from. It was now taught at the Academy as Earth's greatest military innovation. The comm system chimed urgently in Admiral Bay's office. "Admiral, we have a situation. The Nexus conglomerate has developed a new weapon. They're calling it the Star Killer." "Admiral?" Bay frowned. The Nexus conglomerate was an old power, one of the first spacefaring civilizations. They had been quiet for years, but always resentful of Earth's rise. "What do we know about this weapon?" he asked. "They claim it can destroy an entire planet. They're demanding that all powers submit to their authority or face destruction. They've scheduled a demonstration on an uninhabited moon in the Cygnus sector." Admiral Bay's face hardened. "Contact Commander Shin. Tell her to prepare the deterrence fleet." The deterrence fleet was Earth's newest and most advanced force. Their ships carried technology that even Earth's allies had never seen. Commander Shin had helped develop their main system, the Aegis Protocol. Commander Shin Hye-won watched as her fleet approached the Cygnus sector. Ahead, a massive Nexus vessel was positioning itself near a small, rocky moon. Beside it, representatives from major powers watched from their ships, summoned by the Nexus conglomerate to witness their new weapon. "All ships, remain in stealth mode," Commander Shin ordered. "Activate Aegis systems, but keep them dormant until my command." On the main communication channel, the leader of the Nexus conglomerate spoke to the gathered witnesses. For too long, Earth has dominated galactic affairs. Today, we show you the power that will restore the natural order. Behold the Star Killer. A beam of intense energy shot from the Nexus flagship toward the moon. As it struck, the surface began to crack and glow. Now, Commander Shin ordered. Her fleet decloaked, surrounding the Nexus vessel. Before anyone could react, they activated the Aegis protocol. A shimmering field appeared between the weapon and the moon, catching the deadly energy. The Nexus leader's voice came through, angry and surprised. "Earthships! How dare you interfere? This is not your concern!" Commander Shin opened a channel. "This is Commander Shin of the Terran Star Force. Any weapon that threatens planetary bodies is everyone's concern." What happened next amazed all who watched. The Aegis field didn't just block the weapon's energy. It captured it, held it, and then sent it back in a precise beam that struck only the weapon platform on the Nexus ship. The weapon exploded, while the rest of the huge vessel remained untouched. In moments, the most powerful weapon ever built was destroyed without a single death. Commander Shin opened a channel to all watching ships. Earth does not seek war. We seek peace. But we will always have the power to defend that peace. Remember what you saw today. 3 months later, the Galactic Concord was signed. It went beyond the previous treaty, establishing Earth as not just a power, but as the official peacekeeper of known space. Earth ships would patrol trade routes, protect developing worlds, and mediate disputes between older powers. In the Galactic Registry, Earth's classification was officially changed from Category 3 pre-adaptive species to Category 1 adaptive. Guardian species, the first and only civilization to receive this designation. Colonel Ryu stood with Admiral Bay, watching Earth's diplomatic fleet depart for the Galactic Congress. Did you ever imagine this, sir, when you were a young officer, that we would come so far? Admiral Bay smiled slightly. No. No one did. That was our advantage. No one imagined what humans could become. Not even ourselves. Above them, ships from 100 worlds moved through space, all under the watchful protection of Earth's fleets. The species that had once been seen as primitive newcomers had become the foundation of galactic peace, and no power in known space dared to challenge them. The end.